Welcome back to D16 tonight. If you're just joining us online or on KUM Digital, we've got with us in the studio Democratic incumbent Senator Frank Aguon Jr., Democrat and former Chief of Police Fred Bordallo, and of course Republican incumbent Senator Tony Atta. So let's get right back into the questions, and I think we left off at you, Senator Aguon. Sure. We've got a question from Christian Dixon. What is your stance on medicinal and recreational marijuana?
Christian, thank you very much for that question. First and foremost, the people of Guam already have acted and voted on medicinal marijuana. Now the responsibility is on the part of the legislature to be able to pass legislation on the rules and regulations, forward that to the governor's office so that in fact we can get that program underway and ultimately support our community. With regards to recreational marijuana, we have some time in looking and exploring that as a possibility, primarily because there are a number of states that have already adopted the legalization of recreational marijuana, and we need to ensure that there are proper safeguards and that should the community desire to move in that direction, that we're able to address issues that otherwise would come up. Thank you.
Chief Bordallo?
Thank you for that question. I've made it a position that I will support the medicinal use of marijuana. I've attended a lot of the conferences and I've heard, a lot of the concerns and people who have illness and are sick, and of course I'm going to support the legal use of medicinal use of marijuana for the law, and of course the regulations, of course, has to be vetted so that there's no abuse. And in terms of the recreational use of marijuana, I've had some talks with actually one of the people who brought that up, Ms. Pelacani, and some of the things that I've expressed to her is just some research on that, and I consider recreational use, but just more research into that, especially when it comes down to it being broadened out for use.
Thank you, Senator. Senator
thank you, Nestor. With the medicinal use of marijuana, like my colleague said, Senator Aguon, we look forward to getting the rules and regulations drafted and approved so that we can go to the governor for approval. And as for the recreational use, I think, before we travel down that road, we really need to look at what the pros and cons are, just like with everything else. I believe that with recreational use, it's a different spectrum, a whole different ball game with recreational use, and I think we need to be cautious as we move towards that if that's what the people so desire. But I think at this point in time, I cannot support recreational use.
Okay, moving on to another question. This one from Elizabeth Agigi. She's talking about our Manamku, and she asked, people are always looking for elderly care. What can you do to provide services for elderly folks? People cannot quit their jobs to take care of them. They have bills to pay and mortgages and rent to pay. What are your solutions? Let's start with you, Chief.
I've attended a conference, Senior Citizens Month conference, and there's a lot of people who, in that category, who ask the government to step up to the plate in terms of allocate funding to assist the Manamko. And a lot of that is coordination with a lot of the village mayors, because they're like our eyes and ears. And what I'm going to do is, as I was a police officer, always working with the village mayors and also working with DICIT and other agencies to really support them in terms of what kind of funding needs they have. Because our Manamko, it's important that they receive the quality of services that they have in order to take care of them. That's our greatest generation. We should respect and give them the resources they need. Thank you.
Senator Ed?
I know that so well. My father was early stage of dementia, and I understand what she's going through, and looking for health care is very difficult, especially here on our island. We do need to do something to move that forward. We need to do something to ensure that our seniors, but not only our seniors, but those who care for our seniors, have the support and the care that we can provide for them, whether it be a senior home or somewhere that we just don't have it here. And we need to do more, and this government needs to do more to provide that.
And Senator Aguon?
Thank you, Nestor, and thank you, Elizabeth, for that question. We don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel in this particular case. We have a program at the Department of Public Health where, in fact, it's a caretaker program where they augment or provide financial support for individuals who care for individuals with disabilities or are elderly. So rather than reinventing the wheel, I believe one of the things we really need to do moving forward is identify some additional financial resources so that we can expand that program and allow for, like Elizabeth was saying a little earlier, for some of their family members to go off to work, acquire gainful employment, and then come back and have someone, a caretaker, take care of their loved ones, whether they're disabled or they're an elderly, take care of them while they're at work.
Okay. Next question is from Mike Carino, and it goes to you, Chief. Do you support a raise in the minimum wage? And I think Vice Speaker B.J. Cruz has been kind of looking into this.
I've said that I supported a raise in the minimum wage. I think a lot of people are trying to make ends meet, and you know, our party stands for the working people, the Democratic Party, and I stand for working people in ensuring that they have enough of the wage in order to make ends meet. Of course, our small businesses too, I'm pro on that we need to also take a look in balancing that, look at tax breaks for small business that might absorb that impact of minimum wage before that impact study comes out, because it hasn't come out, but I will support the raising of the minimum wage.
Okay. Senator Adams?
Yes, you know, the last wage increase I did support. On this, Vice Speaker Cruz was looking forward to moving his minimum wage bill forward. However, that he moved it back into committee pending some studies that were coming in. And I think we need to really look at what the impact would be to our business economy, and whether, you know, we're not like the United States where you can go from one state to another state to find a job. You can go to one county to a different county to find a job. However, here our jobs are limited, and we need to ensure that we're able to sustain what businesses we do have here, and what impact that minimum wage increase would have. You know, it has that compression effect to where you give the lowest person that increase, then the next person and higher up will also be looking for increases in their pay as well.
Okay. Senator Aguon?
Yes, sir, I do support the increase in the minimum wage. One of the things that has been commissioned by the legislature, and it's been about a year and a half since, and has yet to be completed, is really the research. We need to understand what the implications are of these adjustments in the minimum wage so that we can know what the cost of living could conceivably be as a result of that. Also allow for the businesses to be able to absorb this over time in terms of incremental implementation. The reality is we want to make sure that we support those who need the increase in the minimum wage, but we work with our business partners out there.
Okay. I lost track of who's next, but I think it's you, Senator Adams?
Sure.
Yes.
Okay. Patrick Andrew Guzman is asking, with the impending military buildup, what is your primary concern, and how do you propose that concern would be addressed?
I think what we need to really look at is making sure that our infrastructure is sound before we can continue to proceed forward. Our water, our wastewater, our electricity, especially now with what's going on with our CABRIS units, and we need to make sure that those are stabilized, and ensure that the people of Guam will not be affected in any additional buildup that's coming. If we need to get resources from the military to ensure that these infrastructures are sound and improved prior to the buildup, then we need to do that, and we need to move forward with it as soon as possible.
Senator Aguon?
Yes, sir. I want to thank Andrew for the question. Definitely support the military buildup, and I think that there's one thing that continues to ring in my mind in terms of this build-up process, and that's the One Guam approach. It's got to be a situation where, in fact, the entire island community, regardless as to whether you're part of the military community, you're part of the civilian community, that it's a One Guam approach and everyone benefits. When we're looking at the financial requirements for additional resources, the infrastructure, whether it be the water, wastewater, power, or roadways, we have to work on maintaining that, because that's part of the quality of life of our people here in our community. And I certainly look forward to not only the contribution, but making sure that Guam receives its support for the build-up.
I apologize, Chief. We're not going to be able to get your answer to this, but let me start with you, and can you offer your closing thoughts? Got 30 seconds.
Okay. Well, thank you, people of Guam, for giving me the opportunity, my supporters in the primary. Lily and I express our love for the support that you've given to our family. I'm committed as a senator for the legislature to work for you, to give you good government initiatives that's going to bring economic prosperity and security for our island. I think people out there have expressed the concern that what's the government going to be like in 2 years from now, everything from the depth that's happened in terms of the hospital and how we can ensure that quality medical care is given, the security of our schools, the security of our neighborhoods, and the opportunity to look at our young adults that are finishing school or needing an opportunity for a job. So what I want to ask each and every one of you is if you can give me your vote, I will work for you and won't let you down. Thank you.
Senator Anna, 30 seconds.
Thank you, Nestor. I thank the people of Guam for tuning in tonight and for listening to how we are as candidates for the 34th Guam Legislature. I look forward to, if I'm re-elected, to working for the people of Guam again and ensuring that we keep protecting our families and our homes and our children. I humbly ask you for your support in this coming general election on November 8th. I'm number 4 on the ballot. If you see on the ballot on number 4, it says Vicente Anthony, and it's Tony Ada. It's one and the same. My dad had named all of us Vicente, so I go by my middle name, Tony. Thank you.
Okay. And Senator Aguon, you'll have the last 30 seconds.
Thank you, Nestor. And to the people of Guam, thank you very much for the opportunity to be able to share our perspective. I'm asking you for one of your 15 votes for senators, and I look forward to possibly serving you in the 34th Guam Legislature. You know, one thing that really comes to mind, and I'll just close with this wonderful thought. Every single night I get to go home and I see my 5 grandchildren who just very recently returned home on a semi-permanent basis, and I want to personally welcome them home and welcome my daughter Genevieve. But it's because of them that we need to be able to collectively continue to work together and improve the quality of life of our people, and that's my commitment to you, the people of Guam.
All right, thank you very much. And that'll do it for us. We thank our guests for joining us, and best of luck to you in November. And we'll see you guys on the campaign trail. And to all of you out there, thank you for watching. And remember, your vote is your voice. Good night.
Closed captioning is brought to you